So we're now going to do a fitting video for the Jeep Cherokee, the new shape Jeep Cherokee, and we're going to look at how our brackets and boards fit on underneath the car. So out of the box you get 6 brackets similar to these, style and quality, with the powder coating on there, quite thick steel. So let's have a look under the car. Under the car. So one of the first things that you'll have to do when you've got the Cherokee, underneath you'll be faced with this huge plastic shield, and you have to remove these hex bolts that hold it in place in various intervals. When you remove these, as you can see, our fitter at this point is kind of like taking it off, but it seems to be flexible enough to be able to just fall down there. But we'll just look at this rear bracket first. The rear bracket is quite easy because even before having to undo the shield, the hole's accessible. You literally undo this grommet here, and the bracket goes up against there using, just hang on a second, the large 10mm T-bolt. And T-bolt sticks in there and down there, holds that in place. So that's that one bracket there. Now I'm going to have to let this shield flop down, unfortunately, to show you the middle bracket and the rear bracket. Now the middle bracket isn't dead central, but it's a bit towards the rear. So if you notice, it'll actually be at an angle slightly. This grommet here, large grommet, and this small grommet here, which means that when you put it on, the middle bracket is jutting out. It's an angle. It's not completely straight plumb line out, but it'll be sort of sitting out like that. It doesn't make any difference because on the ends here you've got these oblong holes which allow for a difference and tolerances for when the boards sit on it. So you'll be looking at that sort of setup there. Again, it'll be using T-bolts which mount through this grommet hole and this grommet hole here to hold them in place. Now for the front bracket, it's an interesting setup here, because on the front bracket you'll find that it goes back to here. You've got a captive nut already out on there, so it's I think it's an 8mm captive nut, and then on the front you've got this sort of grommet hole here, which you stick the T-bolt through, the 8mm nut, and that sticks out pretty straight from the chassis. If you look on the other side, this is what it's done. You can come this side, you can see that the bolt there with the washer's gone up to captive nut, and this one's gone up to the T-bolt with the grommet out, and it sticks out that sort of height from the side of the sill. If you go further down to the middle brackets, so if you notice there's quite a big gap before you actually get to the middle bracket. The middle bracket's actually closer towards the rear than it is on the to the front. So again, that's a T-bolt in there into that section, T-bolt into here holding it into place, and that's pretty solid. And on the rear bracket, you've got a T-bolt here. Now obviously you're thinking, well, that's just one hole on there, but that doesn't make much of a difference because you've got 3 brackets on this kit. They're about a 70-inch board, so 3 brackets is more than enough. And anyway, the middle bracket's obviously, like we said, more towards the rear anyway to support that weight. And then when you stick the boards on, they will mount to this point here. As regards fitting the shields back on, so if you look at this setup here, you'll be looking at this kind of setup with putting the shields back on. You'd literally be looking at scoring a line out here, quite possibly back to this sort of flanged area that sticks up here, marking it. The best way around it really is to line up the front and back mounting holes. So you've got some front, back and back mounting holes here to line up where they would go. I think it's more back here, like that. So once you've lined these holes up, and you know where that's going to line up with that hole there, you can then get some masking tape or chalk and you can mark a hole and cut out there. And it's the same with the front bracket here. Once you know that that hole there is going to line up with this bolt that's sticking down, existing bolt, So it looks like, to be honest with you, that this whole section would be easier to be cut off because you wouldn't be able to fit these back on because this bracket's going to come all the way back here. So realistically you're looking at sort of cutting off from this bulkhead section here on your front trim, cutting off round about there to fit this back up again. So that's with the plastic trim. I'm going to get out of the way, you've been attacked by plastic trim. Okay. So obviously full instructions are given in the box, and then you'll see the video on YouTube and the instructions online as well. Jeep Cherokee side steps, buy from Direct 4x4.